Hello my beautiful people of the world, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. If you are not new here, thank you, I appreciate you so much. And if you are new here, welcome. We talk about all things conspiracies, chilling, spooky-ookies, mysteries, legends, anything of that sorts on this channel. And today we're following a theme recently of unsolved cases, okay? And today is more of a history unsolved. And it's actually known as America's oldest unsolved disappearance. Today we're going to be talking about the Lost Colony. The Lost Colony is actually known as the Roanoke Colony, and they were England's first attempt at settling on American land near North Carolina. And this all took place quite some time ago in 1857. Now, this colony was led by John White and had about 115 settlers in the colony. Now, of course, they arrived on Roanoke Island in hopes to build a new life. Now, unfortunately, not long after arriving, supplies began to run low, so John White decided to sail back to England to gather more supplies and resources. And even though he planned to return quickly, he didn't end up coming back because of delays and war that was going on until 3 years later in 1590. But to his surprise, when he arrived back, everybody had disappeared. Every single person. Now, this is where the story unravels into different ideas and theories, some more plausible, but some a little more chilling, a little more spooky. So, for John White, the only clue that was left behind when he returned to the island was a carving in a post that said Croatoan and the letter C-R-O in a tree. Now, the Croatoans were a nearby tribe in what is now known as Hatteras Island. So, the more plausible, or I guess simplest explanation is that they left and they went to go join their tribe. Now, obviously, with supplies running low, the reason that John White left in the first place, it would make a lot of sense that the Roanoke people were like, we're gonna die out here, we need to do something. So they left to join the other tribe. Some people even speculate that maybe they were forced, but it's crazy because if they did decide to leave, whether by force or their own decision, there was no trail or evidence left behind that they left. Now, it is also speculation that when they tried to relocate, they simply just didn't survive. They didn't make it because there was really no clear evidence that they joined the Croatoan tribe. The only real evidence of this is that sometime after, there were reportings of people who had some English influence to them, whether it was skin tone, face shape. Some reports say that the native tribes later had gray eyes, that they were using English words, and some archaeologists found European artifacts inland. But unfortunately, nothing directly confirmed that these were the missing colonists. And at one point, the nearby tribes and Spanish forces considered Roanoke a threat, so you wouldn't think that they would just let them in so easily. So this is why some people believe that maybe they were forced to come there, and maybe some attacks of violence had happened, but yet again, there were no remains, and there was no evidence of any fight that had happened. And what's strange as well is that the Roanoke people's homes were no longer standing, but they weren't destroyed. They actually looked like they had been taken apart and dismantled deliberately and carefully. So really, it would make the most sense that if they did try to relocate, they probably just didn't survive and didn't make it, considering the low amount of resources and supplies that they had. I mean, imagine you're stranded on this island. Somebody says, hey, I'm gonna leave, I'll be back soon with more supplies so we can survive, and then they don't come back and you're waiting for months on end, and now you decide he's not coming back. Maybe something happened to him, maybe something happened to John. We've got to leave, we've got to go. But now you're weak, maybe some of you carrying diseases, maybe some of you sick, right? The chances of survival honestly weren't very good. Now, the other idea is that if they didn't relocate and they stayed on the island, with the lack of resources, they wouldn't have been able to survive for 3 years, meaning that they would have died, and there would have been bodies and at the very least bones left behind. But there was nothing, no bodies, no signs of a fight, nothing, no trails, nothing. And yes, over time, maybe some bodies got washed out to sea, but the fact of not even a single bone being found, it's a little strange, don't you think? Now you're probably wondering, okay, how does this theory fall into maybe the paranormal realm, spiritual realm, whatever it is. Well, there's some folklore and some people who believe that maybe something supernatural took over them on this island and took them away. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy and woo-woo, but considering the lack of evidence of any death, any trails of them trying to relocate, and the fact that people go there to this day and have paranormal experiences, that's what leads some people to believe that maybe something more powerful and supernatural took over the island. People have reported feeling watched from the woods, a sudden eerie silence in nature, meaning no wind blowing, no birds, it just gets eerily still and quiet. Some people have even reported seeing figures, shadows, people in colonial type clothing walking around the island. Even seeing people standing in between trees and then disappearing out of nowhere. Even some people hearing voices right next to them. And what gets even weirder is people have reported after visiting the island of having really weird dreams. People have said they've had dreams of this settlement still being active, people of that time period watching them, and even the word Croatoan being chanted repeatedly to them. Maybe it's psychological and just the power of suggestion, but others aren't quite so sure and believe that this was something greater and more sinister. But whatever you believe, today the Roanoke Island sits with a small community and is home to museums and historical sites. And if you're a history lover, this is a great destination to go tour. And if you go during the day, this may seem like a beautiful, peaceful little island, and at night, things might get a little more eerie and creepy. Let me know what you guys think. What's your take on it? Because I mean, hey, if they left voluntarily and there were no deaths on the island, then why do so many people experience hauntings and weird dreams? So what do you think? Did they leave in peace? Was it forced? And even though so much time had passed since John left the island, yes, bodies could have decayed, they could have been thrown at sea, but why was there not a single bone left as evidence? Nothing. So what do you guys think? Do you think they just relocated, hopefully made their way, and joined another tribe? Or do you think something a little more eerie happened? Alright you guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know if you like this type of content in the comments down below. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one.